Hey guys, welcome back to Multi. Today we're breaking down Season 4, Episode 6, titled You Look Horrible. And yeah, after what Mark went through last episode, that title is not even an insult anymore, it's just facts. So the episode picks up right after Mark's fight with Conquest. He's completely out, barely alive, and honestly at this point his body is just running on pure Viltrumite stubbornness. If you've read the comics, this part is heavily inspired by issues 73 and 74, where Mark is basically hanging on by a thread while his healing slowly kicks in. Now while Mark is down, the episode shifts focus to Nolan and Oliver Grayson, and this is where things get really interesting. Because unlike the comics where they bond pretty easily, the show adds real tension. Oliver is still angry, and it makes sense. He overhears Nolan telling Debbie that his relationship with Andressa, Oliver's mother, was a mistake, and that hits hard. Now imagine being stuck on a dead planet, your brother is basically in a coma, and your dad just said your entire existence was an accident. Yeah, family therapy is definitely needed after this war. So Oliver completely shuts Nolan out. But as they try to survive, hunting and eating whatever alien creature they can find, we start to see small changes. Nolan still thinks like a Viltrumite at first. He even shows respect to Conquest, calling him a loyal soldier. And Oliver is like, no, that guy was a psycho. That contrast is important because it shows Nolan is still unlearning everything he used to believe. There's also that moment where they fight the giant alien creature protecting its eggs. Nolan wants to kill it immediately, but Oliver stops him. And that moment is deeper than it looks, because Oliver is choosing empathy over violence, something Mark has been trying to teach both of them. So even while Mark is unconscious, he's still influencing them. Now cutting away from that, we check in on Alan the alien and Tech Jacket. They finally make it back to the Coalition, and this is where the war really starts shifting. Because Alan is basically built different. Every time he almost dies, he comes back stronger. At this point, fighting Alan is like trying to level up your enemy by punching him, not the smartest strategy. So now you've got Alan, Tech Jacket, Space Racer, and even Battle Beast on the same side. That's a serious problem for the Viltrumites. And the episode explains why the Viltrumites are starting to struggle. It's not because they're weak. It's because every planet they free from Viltrum control joins the Coalition. So the longer the war goes on, the bigger the Coalition army becomes. It's basically turning into a numbers game, and for once, the Viltrumites are not winning that. Now back to Mark. After about 2 months, he finally wakes up. He walks up to a grave, thinking Nolan and Oliver are dead. But nope, that grave belongs to Conquest. And here's the crazy part. Mark doesn't even remember killing him. That just shows how far he was pushed in that fight. Now we move into the big battle on the Coalition planet. We find out there was a mole inside who shut down the defenses and let the Viltrumites in. And just like that, chaos everywhere. But then we get the moment. Mark, Nolan, and Oliver finally reunite and enter the fight together. The Grayson trio is back. And this time, Mark doesn't just rush in like usual. He actually thinks. He targets the Viltrumite ship directly, destroys it, and forces them to retreat. That's huge growth because earlier Mark would have just flown in, gotten punched through 5 buildings, and then figured it out later. But even though they win the fight, the episode makes something very clear. This is not a clean victory. The planet is destroyed, people are dead everywhere. And the show really takes time to show the aftermath, which is something the comics didn't focus on as much. Finally, we learn the Viltrumites aren't done. They're regrouping. They're calling everyone back to planet Viltrum, and the Coalition decides they're not waiting anymore. They're taking the war directly to them, and that's where the episode ends. Overall, this episode wasn't just about action. It was about growth. Nolan is changing, Oliver is starting to understand, and Mark is finally becoming more than just a fighter. He's becoming a leader. And if you know what's coming next, yeah, things are about to get insane. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe to Multi, and drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one.